Hey, my friends. Today's video, I am kind of inviting you a little bit behind the scenes in a conversation and a coaching call that I just had with one of my students. And what we shared with each other, I want to share with you so that it helps you as you are building your business. And it has to do with how you can prepare yourself when you are on a sales call or really any other type of marketing that you might do, but specifically around sales calls. So this particular client and we were talking about when she has sales calls, a lot of times before she gets on the phone with people, she feels very anxious. She feels nervous. She feels sometimes overwhelmed. And what happens is, when you feel nervous and anxious and overwhelmed in your body, your body itself just kind of feels different. And so what was happening for her is she was showing up to her sales calls with this anxious, nervous, uncertain energy. And then we know that if you're showing up nervous or uncertain or overwhelmed to a sales call, the sales call is just not going to go with the right flow that you would want it to have, right? And the way that she knew that is because at the end of her sales calls, she was becoming nervous and worried because she was thinking in the beginning, she was nervous and worried and overwhelmed going into the call. That at the end of the sales call, she would ask herself and be questioning herself that she did it wrong. Maybe she said too much. Maybe she didn't say enough. Maybe she let the potential client talk too much, that she should have done it a different way. And so I said to her, well, let's talk about on your next sales call, how would you really want to feel on your next call? And then I also asked her, what do you think you would do in advance to prepare for your sales call in advance? If you were to have your own process for how you do a sales call, what would that look like? Now, inside my Fully Booked Business Club, I teach a very specific sales process, like how to carry out a sales call. But when you are doing your own sales calls, there will be specific nuances that are work really well just for you. And so that's why I asked her this question. I said, what can we do to prepare you in advance for your sales calls so that you feel more grounded? Because the way she wanted to feel going into the sales call was calmer and more grounded compared to feeling nervous and overwhelmed. So the things that she came up with were, the one thing that she came up with was not answering her phone on the road or on the fly, which I always recommend, never answering your phone to have a sales conversation when you're in the middle of something. And then the second thing that she decided that she wanted to do was to sit and have a 5-minute meditation before she picked up the phone to call somebody back. And the reason why she wanted to do this was to just calm herself, calm her nervous system, to ground herself, to do a little bit of deep breathing, because when she does that and she takes just that 5 minutes, it completely changes how she will show up to the call. And then when she does that ahead of time, she will show up to the call more confident and more grounded. And then I asked her what else she would do before the sales call. And she said, I would probably visualize the outcome. This is the really important piece that I want you to get from today's video. So I said, tell me about visualizing the outcome. And she said, I would want to visualize the outcome of the sales call. And I said, what do you want to visualize? And she said, I would visualize that the call went really well and that the client signed on and became a client. And I said, yes and no. And here's why. When you're using visualizing and visualization in your business, in your sales, whenever you're visualizing a sales call going, we can never visualize somebody else saying yes, because other humans have free will. So we can visualize outcomes of people saying yes to our services and hiring us. But when you go into a sales call with a specific person and you are visualizing a specific person saying yes to you, what happens is you're entangling your desires with their desires. And that is not clean energy. So what I said to her is, instead of visualizing the person saying yes, visualize how you want to feel and how you want the flow of the call to actually go. And I said, if you were to visualize that, what would that look like? And she said, well, if I visualize this call being successful, because success doesn't always have to mean that the client says yes, what would that look like? And her answer was, I would feel calm. I would answer their questions confidently. I would make the other person on the phone feel heard. I would help the person on the call also have less overwhelm and also have that person feel a sense of relief and feel better that at the end of that call, no matter what, they felt heard. And so I want to give that to you when you are getting ready to have a sales call with anybody, because we talked before in a previous video, and I'll put a link below to that, about having attached energy and unattached energy, right? This is an example of being attached to an outcome. When we use visualization, which is lovely to do, I am visualizing outcomes all the time, but I don't visualize outcomes involving specific people. And the reason why is because other humans have free will, and you do not want to get into an energetic entanglement with them. Okay, my friends. So this video was very different than my normal videos, but if you like the format and you like the content I shared today, would you let me know in the comments below? This way I know I can mix up the content that I'm sharing, but I wanted you to just see another side of the work that I do and the coaching that I do in my programs. So if this video was helpful though, please make sure you hit up the like button and make sure that you subscribe so that you don't miss any other upcoming episodes. Bye for now, my friends.